Hi everyone. I miss seeing you at MOPS and bringing you lots of fun crafts. And I've had dreams of making fun craft videos for you to do at home because I know you have nothing but free time right now with children. But today I'm bringing you a slightly more practical craft because I just wanted to help you if you're feeling overwhelmed by all the face masks out there. So today I'm going to show you how I made face masks. Which I know it's, like I said, it's not super fun, but you might be needing them. And I know when I went to make mine, there were so many different tutorials and styles that I kind of got overwhelmed for a bit. So I wanted to show you what I did and how I chose it, and so then you can make yours at home. So in a minute, I'll show you the one I ended up making, but the first couple I tried were kind of, there's a more like pleated style you may have seen. So this was the first one I made, which has really loose pleats, and I used ribbon to tie it. And I just felt like it was a little too, like it didn't fit my face well enough. There were all these gaps, but I felt like I couldn't adjust it right, so I can't talk with this on. I can't talk with that on. So, I mean, it works. It's better than nothing, but I wasn't super happy with it. So then I tried this similar style, but this time I did elastic loops just to compare. And I also put some interfacing, which is a sewing thing. It just makes your fabric a little thicker, thinking that might help it be a little stiffer and would also add some protection. But this was too stiff. And the same thing, I didn't feel like it fit my face well. And I don't really like the elastic loops. They hurt my ears, see? So I wasn't happy with that. So I found this pattern, which is the one I'm going to show you today. And I'll put the link to where I found it when I post this video so that you can download it if you want. And so this kind, it's a little bit more like face fitting. And I also did straps so that this one has a strap that can go over, and then the other one ties on top like this. And so I found this just to have a better seal and also just to be more comfortable long term. So I'm going to do a quick little walkthrough of how to do this. On the website where you find the pattern, she does have a picture tutorial, but I found it kind of confusing. So I just wanted to walk you through it with a familiar face. And on the site, yes, so on the site there's a couple different patterns. When I first made mine, I used there's a ladies pattern, so it's a little bit smaller than the men's. And my husband's is up in the wash, or else I'd show you that size. But it's just slightly bigger. And I've just started making the men's size for all adults. So, like the men's size and the ladies' size, main fabric. The men's size is a little bit bigger, but it's such a small difference that it's easier to just make the bigger one, and then it fits everyone's face. And the fun thing is there's also kid size, so you can make your own little kid masks, which I made for my kids just in case, but we never take them out of the house, so they've never worn them. But they do fit them, so you can do that. So to get started, you'd print out your pattern, cut it out. There'll be one for the main fabric and then one for the lining fabric because the mask is two-sided. And I chose, I chose pretty fabrics because they make me happy, but use what you have. And on the outside, I did just kind of like, it's called quilting cotton you might see at the store, but it's just, there's no stretch to it. It's just like a woven cotton fabric. And then on the other side, I did a flannel because I thought that would be softer on my face. And these fabrics both have a pretty tight weave that's supposed to be good for keeping bad stuff out. Yeah, so download your pattern and cut it out. And then your first step is to cut out your fabric. So you want 2 of the main fabric. This is the ugly side, but so I have fox fabric for the main, and then I have some pretty triangle fabric for the lining. So we'll do that, and then our next step is going to be to sew all along this edge. So the long round curvy edge, I'm going to sew that on both pieces. And I know not everyone has a sewing machine, or if you do have a sewing machine, knows how to use it, because we've talked about this at MOPS before. And if you don't have a sewing machine, you can sew it by hand. If you don't have a sewing machine and are scared of sewing it by hand, you could probably get some fabric glue. Like, it probably wouldn't hold up as well, but you know, if you need something, I'm sure you could do that. But I bet if you have a needle and thread, you could stitch it together. I believe in you, okay? You can do it. All right, I'm gonna sew this and then we're gonna come back, and my awesome husband, cameraman, is gonna help me with the next part. So I sewn my fabric together. I did along this round edge, and you'll notice that the less pretty side is showing because you want your good side of the fabric to be on the middle, which you'll see why when we finish the project. So I sewed both the main fabric and the lining fabric. And then our next step is going to be to put them together. So in the instructions, it does say to open it up and iron this little part here in and like stitch it to really lay it flat. If you're a rebel like me, sometimes you skip those steps, but choose your own adventure there. I don't really like to follow the rules all the time. And so we're gonna put our main fabric together with our lining fabric, and we're going to open them both up and then put their pretty sides together. So it'll be kind of like this, a little sandwich, pretty sides inside. And then what you do is you're gonna sew along the top edge and the bottom edge. So you wanna pin it together in just a few spots so that you, it doesn't wiggle around while you're trying to sew. And I found it easiest to kind of do a pin right in the middle, line those sides up, and then work my way out. Otherwise, if I start at one end, I can kind of get off center pretty fast. So, kind of easiest to pin the top, pin the bottom, and then kind of work out. There. So, can you see this all right from there? Okay. So we're gonna do that, and then also I'm kind of a rebel. I don't put pins all along. I just kind of pin a few, but use as many as you want to feel comfortable. And then we're just gonna stitch all along here and all along here. So I'm gonna do that, and then I'll show you the next part, okay? So now you've made yourself kind of a little tube where the two sides are sewn together. I can't actually fit my arm through here, but you've sewn top and bottom, two ends are open. We're gonna turn it inside out. And now it'll start to be looking a little bit more like a mask. So we still have to finish these little edges because they don't look so good. So now we've moved over to the ironing portion of the evening. And you should notice this beautiful bird ironing board cover because I love it. And so what I do is kind of just iron it flat just to make sure it kind of is ready to keep working, kind of has its shape. And I'll do that both sides. And then we're gonna fold the edges in. Can you see this pretty close? Okay. So this is our next step. And so what I do is I kind of fold a tiny bit of the edge up just so it has a pretty finished edge later. And just iron that down. Doesn't have to be perfect. And then I fold it in. And so it makes the edges look really kind of smooth and clean. But when we stitch along this edge, we're creating that pocket that the strap goes in, which hopefully will make more sense when we actually put it in and stitch it. So I'm going to do this on this side, and I'll do it on the other side too. And then I'm going to stitch all along here. So I'm going to iron this one and stitch this, and then I'll show you what it looks like. All right, so I've stitched these along the side. So now there's kind of just like a little passage in here that something can go through. And so that's where the straps are going to go. And so if you want, you can do the elastic route and just tie a loop, like loops through. I found the strap more comfortable. And what I used was just strips of jersey. So I had jersey fabric at home because I'm a fabric hoarder, but this is basically what t-shirts are made out of. And I know I've seen online ways that you can cut a t-shirt to get a long strip. You have to like cut across. So if that's what you want to do, look it up. You can also use ribbon, like kind of use what you have. But jersey fabric's nice because you cut a strip and you kind of like pull it a little bit and it kind of rolls in on itself and it won't fray. So you kind of make your own comfortable, stretchy, elastic cord. And so I cut a pretty long strip. I don't know what this is. Oh, I have a ruler. How convenient. So this is like 48 inches, but you know, do what fits your head. And so there's a trick to thread things through where you use a, what's this called? A clothespin? No.
Safety pin?
Safety pin. Thank you, cameraman. And so if you attach that to the end, then it kind of helps you thread it through. So I pushed it through the top of one side, out, and then up through the bottom of the other side. Out, and then you've made a mask. Do 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 do. And so I liked having mine where I put a loop over and then tied it. But obviously you can do it, you can have them both be ties, you can have the loop and then the tie on the bottom, you know, you can kind of modify it. Oh, and this is also the man's size, so you can maybe tell if it fits me differently. It's just a little bit bigger, but it's not like a huge difference. So I thought this would be a good backup, and my husband and I can both use it when we need a backup. And it has these really cute foxes. So that's it. I hope that was helpful. I know I've also seen people do modifications where they add like wire or a pipe cleaner or something so the nose fits better, or add a pocket for a filter for extra protection. All that just kind of felt like extra that I wasn't sure whether I needed and felt too complicated. So I just went with a basic mask because I figured for me going to the grocery store, this was probably sufficient. But, you know, you're welcome to investigate those things. And please let me know if you have questions. I know I'm having a hard time some days being at home, and some days are really good and I'm making masks and feeling good about the world. And some days I'm crying and I don't know how to feed my children because they're always there. So please don't be home worried about how you're going to make a mask. Like, if all this looked super overwhelming, like, ask someone for help. Someone who knows how to sew who could help you make a mask. Just put a t-shirt over your face. Like, this was supposed to be helpful and not scary. And hopefully soon I'll be back with something more fun. I've been brainstorming crafts that you can do with things that are probably already in your house because you can't go to the craft store. So hopefully I can find some fun things for you to do at night once the kids are in bed. And with that, I'm going to let you go. Please let me know if you have questions about the mask, or if you have an idea of something else you want me to see me make. And if you just need help with a craft project, you can always text me and we can do a FaceTime tutorial and it'll be super fun. So that's it. Good night, friends. I guess it's day when you're watching this. I don't know. Good time of day. Bye.